Renaissance Man Ministry here. I want to share something with you that has been life-changing for me that you may want to take into consideration. I'm a person who pays tithes. So if you're not a person who pays tithes or whatever the case may be, this video may not be for you unless you just like content that's in the Bible. With that being said, I'm going to read two scriptures to you. Exodus 22 and 29. Thou shalt not delay to offer the first fruit of thy ripe fruits and of thy liquors, the firstborns of thy sons shalt thou give unto me. And then you can actually cross-reference Deuteronomy 26 and 2. But I'm going to read Nehemiah chapter 10, verse 35, and bring the first fruits of our ground and the first fruit of all trees year by year unto the house of the Lord. So, in Hebrew culture, it was customary to bring first fruit. The economy was ruled by agriculture and trading and bartering back then, and precious metals and stones. So it was customary, even demanded in the Old Testament, that you bring the first crops or the first yield of crops to the Lord's house. And the prophet Nehemiah reminded the people of such. So a lot of people will, even though the New Testament, it does say, yes, Yeshua the Christ, he says himself, he fulfilled the law, but he also says, if you love me, keep my commandments. And he makes plenty of references to the law. So am I one of those people who feels like if you don't keep the law, you're going to die and go to hell? No. But I tell you what, the more of them you can keep, the more laws, statutes, and commandments you keep, the better your life will be. And I'm also a person who believes in grace by faith in Yeshua the Christ. But the law, statutes, and commandments are the model of what we should live by. Those are God's words directly to us, Yahweh's words directly to us. So with that being said, when you don't tithe and when you don't follow those principles, it's almost like going up a ladder and you skip a couple of rungs. I guess you could jump straight up there, but it would sure be easier to go step by step. Safer too, and you're guaranteed an outcome. So with that being said, for all of you who do pay tithes, if you're not doing first fruit offerings, I'm going to just share a story with you. There was a time where I went through a divorce and went through some legal matters, and it wasn't me doing anything wrong. I actually had some wrong done unto me, and I entered into a long series of legal battles. I was also running for public office, trying to help change the landscape of a particular town, and it was just a rough time in life. And in the midst of all of that, I had to relocate to a different city, because once you enter into political battles, if you go into a political battle and you don't have generational wealth backing you, you can take some real losses if you lose that political battle. And I lost. And I wound up having to relocate and do a lot of things in a different fashion and basically start over. So in the midst of a divorce and taking a lower paying job and going through a lot of turmoil, I was at a church in which the pastor was discussing first fruit offerings. I heard it once before. I don't know if I participated back when I first experienced salvation. I really can't remember, but I know this much. At that particular stage, I had just enough money job I was working to pay bills, pay tithes, and darn near break even. If anything went wrong, I was going to be in the hole. So I said, okay, well, I'm not really making a whole lot of money right now. I mean, I'm doing better than, according to the Department of Labor, Bureau of Labor and Statistics, I'm doing better than the average person. But for what I got going on in life, I'm not doing what I would like to be doing. So the pastor told us about his good experiences with first fruits and how it was customary culture in the Old Testament. So I said, you know what? What do I have to lose? So the Bible also says if a man doesn't work, then a man shouldn't eat. But you also have to think about what else can go with that. Well, maybe if you work more, you can eat more, right? So I went back to another side profession I used to do part-time, and I stacked that on top of my day job, and I saw some improvements in life and improvements in income. But then about a year and a half later, an opportunity got introduced to my family, and my income, well, I'm not going to say my income directly, but the leverage and the buying power of my family increased. And my mother has a company now, and I work in it and I operate it, but it brought more wealth to our family. It doubled darn near our economic power. And I must say, why did Yahweh choose that time, that person, to give me that opportunity? As a matter of fact, my son and I were training in some mixed martial arts at a gym, and my sparring partner, just after we beat each other up and laughed about it a couple of times in sparring, he told me, hey, why don't you check out this opportunity? Not too many people know about it, but hey, give it a try. And it's a blue collar skill. And if you look on my other channel, if you need information about skills and trades, I'm starting to talk about that more. It's a channel that's based more on mentoring young men, but in that you have to talk about careers. And I am going to go into that further as the summer goes, and I'm going to add to it so it can be an extension of my classroom, because it's not information that's just not out there, but it helps when somebody can just sit down and guide you to a particular path. So that happened in short order, I guess a year and a half after giving that first fruit offering, and it wasn't a lot of money. Instead of paying my basic tithes, basically I just took 10% of an extra 10%, because that's pretty much what it is. If you can give a whole paycheck, because most of us don't have farms, most of us don't have any type of dealings in agriculture, but I suppose if you can afford to give a whole first check, do it. If you have a second job and you can give the whole first check on your second job, do it. And think about what I'm saying. I'm not telling you to give me money. I don't know who your pastor is. It can be somebody else's church. You might not be a member of a church. All I'm telling you is this principle, and if you're not a believer, that's fine. I'm not forcing you to listen. I'm not forcing you to watch, and I'm not trying to make you believe anything. But if you're a Bible believer, and this is in the Bible, and you can look up other people's testimonies. I'm not the first person to do this. All I'm telling you is I saw it work not once, but once I started to get the concept, I said, wait a minute. Okay, well, I'm doing another venture for my family. My family's going to put another first fruit in. And we saw some more increase. Now, there was a time when I forgot to do it because I had some hectic stuff going on. And I saw some decrease. But remember, I never decreased below where I was. But I didn't see as much increase as I saw when I kept giving those first fruits. Because as your standard changes and as your knowledge changes, to he who much is given, much is required. So, yeah, since I know this, who am I to stop doing it when it's one of God's laws, statutes, and commandments? So, I don't have this channel to go into debates with people or to, this just to give some words of encouragement and some more hope in the God that we serve and in the book that he gave us, and to just expound briefly upon what's in the book. But if you don't believe it and you can use some financial increase, what does it hurt you to give a little bit more? Let me be blunt. If you broke and you already ain't gonna be able to pay them bills, I remember one time I used to do ministry when I was a college student. I was broke back then, and there was a particular time I knew I didn't have enough money to pay a light bill on the due date. I knew I was going to have to pay the late fee later, but there were some kids who were in the children's ministry and they didn't have anything to eat, so I gave the money to them and bought them some food. And I saw some increase later that month. But how much more powerful is that concept? Because you reap what you sow, right? You believe the Bible, right? Well, sow the extra seed and let God give the increase. Because his ways are not our ways. His ways are above our ways, right? You do trust him, right? And I know I'm sitting here smiling and I'm talking on a video. And I want y'all to know something. Sometimes I'm preaching to myself too. Sometimes I'm talking to myself because everything ain't perfect. Although I'll admit today was a good day, this week was a good week, but I'm telling you right now, I'm riding on a bit of a high because I see things happening. I've been down this road and I recently gave another first fruit offering. And I see God forming up those clouds to rain down on our crops and grow some more livestock, proverbial livestock, and to heal the land and grow the land some more so we can give a bigger first fruit offering. Because if he's giving you more, he wants more. So I hope that's making sense to you, because somebody blessed me with that information and it changed my life. So take it and apply it. We're not just to read the Bible, we're to use it and apply it. And he who puts his hand to the plow and looks back is not worthy of the kingdom. So take the information, apply it, pray, ask God for his blessings and his favor, but also be obedient, give that first fruit offering to whatever church that the Spirit leads you, that the Holy Spirit leads you to give to. Plant that seed. You can't sit there and watch a tree grow. So plant that seed and move on with life. And when you come back, you'll see some fruit that you can pick. Renaissance Man Ministry. I hope that blessed your soul. Like, share, and subscribe. You never know who might need an uplifting word. Have a good one.